I'm gonna show you how I developed the ability to do this in like 2 months time with less than 3 hours total spent on doing actually something other than this, okay? And by that I don't mean this, I mean that's either a D or a G. It's a G. Yeah, it's a G. You can check. Pull up a phone. Pull in the fucking piano or guitar. Check if it's a G. It's a G. Palette cleanser. It's either a E or a or a B. Sorry, that ruined it actually for me because now I accidentally hit this one and it was half a step, so it was the B. But anyway, I told you it was one of the three. Doesn't count. Palette cleanser. Now it's either an E or a A. I want to say it's an A. Yes, it's an A. Palette cleanser again. B. Yeah, it's a B. Palette cleanser again. See, I'm doing this so that I don't have any. I'm flushing out the memories of the note I just had in my head, so I can't reference it because that would be a relative pitch, right? But D. Yes, that was a D. So anyway, the way that I've been able to develop perfect pitch, seemingly, and not even seemingly, I do believe that this is perfect pitch. I hear a note, I know what note it is through this. So I sat down at a piano. I have a piano at home. This isn't my home. I've been working on really thinking about and hearing and feeling the 7 different modes while playing guitar. And I've been working on that for a couple of years, I want to say. 2 to 3 years. I've learned the boxes, I've learned the how they connect to each other on the fretboard and stuff. And thus, I've also learned to internalize, for example, we all know, at this point, if you're watching this video, you know what's the purpose of the Ionian scale, what's the purpose and sound of the Aeolian scale, what's the purpose and sound of the Lydian scale. But then there are a few of them that are in between where it's just like, they're not as clear cut, right? So I've really just sat down and first of all, like memorized intervals, gotten really to know and familiarize with myself with intervals, like what is the essence of the minor 2, what is the power of the minor 6, and why is the major 6 such a non note often in the mode or in the scale. So so an easy way for me to really sit down and just quickly go through the different modes and compare the relative intervals within that mode to each other. Sit down at the piano, and again, if you're watching this far, you know that sticking to all white keys, if we go from C to C, that's the regular major. That's the Ionian. D to D, Dorian. E to E, Phrygian. F, Lydian. G, Mixolydian. A, Aeolian. B, Locrian. And that's it. All right. So what I've done, my first step to achieve perfect pitch like this was to sit down and randomly select the note, white key, find the octave, and then without looking at the keys, go through the notes and see if I can recognize the intervals and thus the mode. All right, so here I hear it's sad. So I already know that it's one of the minor ones, right? And then I hear that there's the minor 2 in there. So it has to be E Phrygian, right? That's it. And then I take another one. Where's the octave? Here. It's happy, but it has the augmented 4, a flat 5 in there. It's got to be the augmented 4, so therefore it's Lydian, going from F to F, right? So now I can do that. It's not it's as clear as to me as hearing the difference between the regular minor and regular major scale. Okay, all the 7 modes, even the Locrian. Right, I hear it instantly. So I thought, okay, how can I make this challenge and this game harder for me when I sit at home? I went to this then, pick a random note, and then just try to do this all the way through the octave. It's kind of hard with this one. It's easier with my piano at home. So, plus the volume's pretty low. Just go through all the notes in a quick succession without having the able to cross-reference notes or intervals and compare them to the root. and thinking that, okay, I just heard all the notes. My brain has all the info that it needs. Okay, so what did I just hear? And I know that I heard something happy, and I know I heard something that was very vanilla happy, very basic happy. So my deduction is that it was the C Ionian. Correct. And then that was the C Ionian again. And then I get, fuck. Nah, so I know again that I just played the minor 7 in there, so I know it's a G. Fuck, it was the F Lydian. Anyway, sorry, disregard that. But anyway, so I got pretty good at that as well. Now I know it's a sad sounding one, so I already disregard a few of them. I know that it's down to Phrygian or Locrian or possibly Dorian, but it's not. Sorry, or Aeolian. But it's definitely regular, sad, boring minor, so it's Aeolian. And that's what it was, okay? So then when I got good at this, I thought, so what's the next step? How can I make this even more nuts for me? I'm going nuts with power. I think so highly of myself now. And I thought, well, I can just do this. Get that note. Or fucking, okay, so why not up here? Get that note, find the octave, and then just do this. And by my same logic I said my brain receives all the notes here. They're all just together now on top of each other, but they're all here. And what do I hear? I hear something not minor and not cryptic or mysterious. So it's got to be either Aeolian, could be Dorian, or then it's Lydian or Mixolydian. It's either certainly Ionian, Lydian, or Mixolydian. So I'm trying to identify, is there an augmented 4 in there, making it Lydian? Don't think there is. Can't be sure, but it's 100%. It's either C Ionian or Mixolydian. I think there's a minor 7 in there, so it's maybe G Mixolydian. Fuck, no, it was the rate. It's hard up here. You can't really fucking hear it, so low. Anyway, but then I got pretty good at that as well. You didn't get an example of me really being good at that, so I'll give you another one. This is D Dorian. That's what it was. Okay, so yesterday or so when I sat down to do this bashing game again, I'm gonna check that the camera's still recording. I noticed that when I acquired the random note, before I even had time to find the octave and mash all the keys together, I noticed that, wait, I already know by this sound, by this note alone, I already know what's following. Thus, I know what mode it is. Thus, I know which note this is. I know that this is C Ionian. Yes, it was, right? Because I've done this not even many times. I'm telling you, I've done this late summer a couple times, early autumn a couple times, to a total of, I want to say, definitely less than 10 times, maybe 5 times. 5 to 10 times I've sat down and done this. 5 to 10 minutes at a time. I have not received some savant level classical music education somewhere. I have not been interested in music theory up until like 3 years ago, okay? This is something that I just opened up my ears, opened up my mind to. And now, as clearly as I see difference between colors, I hear difference between modes. That being said, I do believe that you can have a disposition towards this kind of stuff. I know that since I was a child, I heard shapes. Like when I was growing up listening to Queen's Greatest Hits Volume 2, for example. And because I was obsessed with drums, I would think of the drum sounds on that collection, because it's from 80 to 80 something. So it's a bunch of different drum sounds. And I remember hearing the kick as a certain shape, and I remember hearing the snare as a certain shape, and I would prefer a certain shape of a snare sound and a certain shape of a kick sound, right? So I've had this, I've had this, but I haven't had an inkling that really I could figure out stuff like this. So anyway, you got the one example of me just knowing a certain note. Actually, you got a ton of them at the beginning there, but yeah. So I just accidentally noticed then when I was doing this game that, oh wait, I don't even need to do that to find the mode and therefore what was the root note. I can just now hear the root note